Welcome, everybody. This is Katie with Ria Health, and I'm back again with Claudia Christian, evidence-based recovery advocate and founder at the C3 Foundation. And today, Claudia, we are going to talk about ordering the medication naltrexone online, meaning from an overseas pharmacy, perhaps without a prescription, really talk about some of the risks associated with that and why people should avoid this if possible. So I guess just my first question to you is, why are we talking about this today? Because I know, of course, you have your own personal experience with this. And so just want to hear from you, why are we talking about this and what are the risks and what are the better options as opposed to ordering it from overseas or online?
Thank you, Katie. Well, first of all, I think why we're talking about this is because I'm probably one of the most responsible individuals out there who is leading people to the belief that they have to order online. And I wish that I could go back and add an addendum to my TEDx talk or redo some of my earlier videos, but it's not possible. But what I did say in my TEDx talk was my own experience. I portrayed my own experience in a very real manner, and I was honest, and that sort of waylaid people. So for me individually, back in 2009, that's a whole decade ago, it's actually going to be 11 years in January, I had to order naltrexone online because there were no choices. There were no doctors that would give it to me. I tried my GP, I tried multiple other avenues, other people's doctors, they all refused me. There were no telemedicine companies like Ria Health offering their services back in those days. So in 2009, I was put in a very precarious position. I had never ordered a medication online, but I was desperate. And in my desperation, I ordered from an Indian pharmacy. And once I started using naltrexone and I saw the profound difference in my drinking, I started talking about it. And unfortunately, people are watching those old videos and that, older TED Talk referring to my time in 2009 and taking that as sort of the Bible about how to do TSM. So I want to say once again, I apologize for that, but I was simply talking about my own experience, and times, thank God, have changed. We've caught up to the pressing need for people to have a professional prescribe them naltrexone, and now you can have that. So I want to preface this talk by saying that, yes, I take full responsibility for a lot of people thinking that that is the only way to do the Sinclair method. I think it's incredibly important to understand that not all online pharmacies are safe. There's a lot of scammers out there. I've had people over the past decade say that they've had completely ineffective or placebo sugar pill naltrexone. Yeah, I've had a couple of people order it from various pharmacies around the world. I think one was in Thailand and one was elsewhere. I don't remember. And they said, look, they had it tested. One person had it tested and it wasn't even naltrexone. So first of all, there's that danger. So you might not even get it. Second of all, there's the time. When I ordered it in 2009, the first shipment, which was hundreds and hundreds of dollars, there's also the cost to think of. I think it was just a little less than $300 for 30 pills. It took in 6 weeks into waiting for it. I actually called them because I was so panicky because the cravings were kicking in. I was starting the alcohol deprivation effect. I was in about month 4 of sobriety at that point, and I was, really white knuckling. And I was in tears, and I called them and screamed at them saying, where's my medication? And they did send a second order. But it took almost 2 months to get that. So I don't want people waiting 2 months. They could go off on a deadly binge. Who knows? 2 months more of damage to your liver, 2 months more of really ruining your relationships and maybe not showing up at work. I mean, this is really a life-saving medication. So if you want to get it in a timely manner and you want to take care of this issue right now while you're motivated, then absolutely you need to get a prescription. And right now, the availability of telemedicine like Ria Health, of being able to get it accessible the same day, quite often, sent to your pharmacy. So there's the time, there's the cost. It's prohibitive. For some people, it's upwards, like I said, of $10 a tablet. And this is a lifetime commitment. So it's not like you're going to order 30 tablets and suddenly you're cured. So, this would be a much better investment to spend the money and have the support and a full comprehensive program and get your medication delivered to your local pharmacy. So there's cost, there's time, and there's safety. Make sure you're getting the right medication. Now, I understand that there are people in other countries who simply don't have access to the medication, and that's a whole other, problem, which we can address if you want later on.
Thank you so much. And I know I've heard you talk before about just, viewing this really also as an opportunity to educate physicians and telemedicine doctors, on this evidence-based treatment for alcohol use disorder. So how does that play a role in, going to your doctor, going to telemedicine physician to get the prescription versus online?
Right. Well, this is a very important thing. A lot of people feel the need to pay it forward once they find this life-saving method of using naltrexone in a targeted manner. A lot of people are thoughtful in the sense of saying, how can I reduce shame and stigma? And the more we talk about it with doctors, the more we insist that our doctor prescribe this life-saving, FDA-approved, safe, non-addictive medication, the more we open the doors for other people to get help. So when you go to a telemedicine company also, you're providing data, and that data will give them more of a wider knowledge of how people react to the medication, what services help the recovery process, for instance, cognitive behavioral therapy or coaching. If the breathalyzer really works, if the drink logs work, the more people who seek out help, either through telemedicine or through their doctors, you're providing data, you're educating the doctors, and you're opening the doors for other people to get the same sort of help that you're getting. And in addition to that, you are reducing shame and stigma by simply talking about your problem. One of the biggest issues I find is that people are even embarrassed to talk about this in front of their family doctor because their doctor knows everything about them, has seen them through the birth of their children, through whatever, a myriad of issues. And the thing is, we have to be able to say, look, I'm concerned about my drinking. And if your doctor says, well, why don't you just stop and go to a meeting or try a 12-step program or something? Or if they poo-poo it and say, oh, you don't drink that much if you're drinking a bottle of wine. And I do that. If they're flippant about it or humorous about it, you can say, look, I know about this medication that will help me gain more control over my drinking, and I would like to try it. And here's all the information, which you can download from C3 Foundation. Or on Ria Health, you can say, here's the information about this medication. It's completely legal. The FDA approved it back in the mid-90s for AUD, and I'd like to try it and insist on that. And now that doctor, when you come in for your next year's checkup, you can say, you know what, that pill did the trick, and I'm now down to a glass of wine 3 times a week. Now, he or she will know so that they can then tell their other patients with drink issues. So it really is a revolving circle of information and education that we all should be part of. And once again, there shouldn't be shame in coming to anybody and saying, I'm concerned about how much I drink and I would like to decrease it. I would like to get that off button back. I'd like to gain control again of my drinking.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Claudia. And, thanks for all your work with C3 Foundation in really making this method more accessible to people. As you said, your TED Talk many years ago, there weren't really many options. And the work C3 has been doing is adding more options every single day. So just want to thank you for all your advocacy work there.
Thank you, Katie. It's my pleasure.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.